I first saw Maya by the lockers. The sunlight streamed through the window, making her hair glow. I quickly looked away, my cheeks warm.
Ethan pretended to read a book, but he couldn't help sneaking glances at Maya, who was laughing with her friends. Their eyes met a few times after that, in the hallways, in the cafeteria, always brief, always electric. He felt a connection, something unexplainable. Ethan wasn't sure if Maya felt it too. She seemed so confident, surrounded by friends. He was quieter, more observant. Maybe it was just him. They had never actually spoken. He wanted to, desperately, but the words always caught in his throat. What if he ruined everything? Ethan loved English class. He loved the way words could paint pictures, evoke emotions. Poetry was his favourite. He filled notebooks with his thoughts and feelings. One day Mrs. Johnson, their English teacher, announced a group project.
Poetry presentations, everyone. Get into groups of 3.
Ethan's heart sank. He hated group projects. He was always the quiet one, overshadowed. He scanned the room, hoping to be with someone he knew.
Ethan, you're with Maya and Liam.
Ethan's head shot up. Maya? He was in a group with Maya? His heart pounded in his chest. This could be a disaster. Or maybe, just maybe, it could be something more. Liam, a basketball player with a booming laugh, immediately took charge. Ethan hung back, watching Maya. She was even prettier up close.
So what kind of poetry do you guys like?
I like sonnets.
He loved the structure, the rhyme scheme, the way they could convey so much in such a small space.
Me too.
And just like that, the wall between them crumbled. They talked about their favourite poets, their favourite poems, the way words made them feel. Liam, bored, scrolled through his phone. Ethan had never felt so connected to anyone before. He forgot to be shy, forgot to be afraid. He was just Ethan and she was just Maya, 2 souls drawn together by a shared love of poetry. The weeks flew by. The project was finished, presented, praised by Mrs. Johnson. Ethan and Maya continued to talk, their conversations extending beyond poetry. They discovered a shared love of old movies, indie music and rainy days.
Graduation day arrived, a bittersweet moment.
Ethan stood with his parents, searching the sea of faces for Maya. He spotted her, laughing with her friends, her graduation cap slightly askew. Their eyes met, and she smiled, a bright, beautiful smile that made his heart ache.
He wanted to talk to her, to tell her how much these past few weeks had meant to him. But the crowd pushed him forward, separating them. He looked back, hoping for one last glance, but she was gone.
The years passed. Ethan went to college, studied literature, became a writer. He never forgot Maya, though. Her memory lingered, a bittersweet echo in his heart. He often wondered what she was doing, who she was with. Did she ever think about him? Did she remember their stolen glances, their shared passion for poetry?
One day, he received an invitation. His high school reunion. He hadn't planned on going, but something drew him back. Maybe it was the chance to see old friends, to revisit his past. Or maybe, just maybe, it was the hope of seeing her again.
The school looked smaller than he remembered, but it was filled with familiar faces. He saw Liam, taller now, a hint of grey at his temples. They laughed, reminiscing about old times.
You know who I saw earlier? Maya, S1. Who?
Maya?
Ethan asked, his heart suddenly racing.
Yeah, man, she's over there, by the library.
Ethan's head turned, and there she was, Maya. A little older, a little wiser, but just as beautiful as he remembered. She was standing by the window, her back to him, a book in her hand. He walked towards her, his steps hesitant at first, then gaining confidence. He stopped behind her, unsure of what to say.
It's funny. I always thought of you in this very spot, standing by the window, lost in a book.
Maya turned around. Her eyes widened in recognition, and a slow smile spread across her face.
Ethan, it's really you.
And in that moment, all the years melted away. It was like no time had passed at all. They were back in high school, 2 souls connected by a shared love of poetry. He took a step closer, his gaze meeting hers.
I brought you something.
He mumbled, reaching into his pocket and pulling out a small, worn notebook.
I thought you might like it.
It was his poetry notebook filled with poems he'd written over the years, many of them inspired by her. Maya took the notebook, her fingers brushing against his.
You still write.
Always, especially for you.